Anyway, Nerd Transformed here again, and we're on the final member of the Defensor team. This is the Transformers Combined Wars Voyager class Hotspot, who of course forms the chest and head for Defensor. I will form the head. Not sure I'm making a Voltron reference there. He does have a pretty heavy remold in the form of Onslaught, and they might not look like remold at first, but if you turn Hotspot around this way, you start to see it really fast. As you can see, basically Onslaught's just him backwards with the front of the vehicle taken off, as well as a huge change to the middle section. So yeah, pretty heavy revision from the two. If you're wondering what that was my girlfriend. But yeah, gives you a pretty good idea of how these two look together. Because of the front part, Hotspot is a bit longer, so. And for comparison, here he is also with Rook, who is a Deluxe class, so much shorter, or at least not as long. I guess height-wise, he might be about the same. So yeah, he's a pretty nice-looking fire truck. This would actually probably work pretty well as a repaint to RID Optimus Prime, the 2000 RID or Fire Convoy, if you prefer, from Car Robots. I'm pretty sure somebody's already done custom of that. But it looks pretty nice. Got little sirens here. Got just like all the others. He has a Tampo with fire rescue going right over a door. Yeah, that's actually a door right there. How the heck does this door look? It looks like it would just fall. I guess those are steps there, maybe? Who knows? Wheels spin pretty well. Figure rolls pretty nicely. You actually do see on the front, we do get some headlights and little grill, like I guess a little bar piece here that could be a grill, then some silver. And the windows and the windshield wipers are painted in black on the sides as well. Well, the frame is painted over too, so it might obscure some details. Get this little red line here. I do like the Autobot symbol where it's actually on fire. Might make it seem a little weird since they are fire rescue, but I guess it kind of works. The siren up here is done in nice red with the little frame left unpainted. You also see his peekaboo head. We'll get to that in a minute. He does have the crane or the ladder or the hose up here, but none of it's painted, it's just all plastic. Also, some inside parts are painted, that's for the later modes. But yeah, not a lot of paint in vehicle mode. At least not a lot of it for the vehicle mode, but it looks pretty nice. The only complaint I really have is the fists are just kind of, well, I have two complaints. One, the fists are just kind of left open here. There's just fists hanging out. I feel like they could have had a hinge and had these pushed back into here with a little tab to pull them out. I don't know, I feel like this was an easy fix considering how much room there is in there. Because this up here doesn't do anything either. I mean, you can even see there's a gap right there at the top of how hollow it is. Speaking of hollowness, yeah, face just peeking up at you there, like a monster under your bed, just, hello. I mean, I guess you can flip the head around, and pull it out, flip it around, push it back in. But still, you can just see the head right there, just means he's not staring up at you. Plus, the face sticks down a bit further if you have it flipped that way, so to tuck it up there, you have to do it that way. Also, you could use the chest plate to help the silhouette, because, you know, if you leave the chest plate flipped up, it kind of leaves these little bumps, angles in. Well, if you flip it out, you can see it kind of makes a straight line, even though there's just this red bit down there. And it doesn't look much better from the bottom. From the bottom, it's just like legs, arms, head, chest plate. So yeah. Also, he does have this big gap at the top here. Like back here, there's these little gaps, but at least it's kind of covered. Here's just a big, wide gap right there. And Onslaught has the same problem going in the opposite direction. So yeah. Not the best vehicle mode, but honestly, I will say his vehicle mode is probably the weakest of his three modes. But that's pretty nice for Combiner Wars, because usually it's the chest mode or something that's the weakest. Having the vehicle mode be the weakest, I'm okay with. It's still not a bad vehicle mode, it's just not the best. I do like all the detailing in here. Up here is actually the Defensor's head, and you can actually see it has that kind of plating on the bottom there for a figure to stand. At that time, no figure could fit in there, but you could take it, now that we have the Titan Masters, you can actually take a Titan Master and it fits perfectly in there. I actually kind of wonder if they planned that out. That's kind of cool. He actually does have articulation in this mode. I mean, you get a swivel here, you get a hinge right back here, you get a hinge up here, you get a hinge in the middle of the ladder, and you get a hinge at the end. So when you have a lot of little hinges to work with, and as well as the swivel to work with to kind of change this around. I personally leave the white part solid, and you just kind of do like that, you know, save a cat in a tree or something. Whatever Hotspot's up to today. But yeah, pretty good vehicle mode. Let's get down the... oh wait, before we get the transformation, he does have his weapons. You can... there's a lot of places to peg them in. Personally, I leave them back here. And there's two different pegs. I peg them by the smaller pegs on the sides of the guns because it fits in a bit better. Personally, I leave them right here, and then you can kind of use them from there to aim up and down. But there are also pegs right here. Peg holes right here. But you need to use longer pegs for them. But if you want like the side weapon for like a lot of the other Combiner Wars figures had, if the gun doesn't go flying off. And you could also peg them at the very front if you so wish. Oh, if I don't drop them. And they don't hold on very well, but you could give them an armed front, so I guess you could put out fire spare that way. Or just shoot from the front there, you know. Whatever Hotspot needs at that moment. It kind of looks like a scorpion tail. But yeah, pretty nice vehicle mode. So now let's get down to transformation. To start, you're going to come to the front here. And these will come up on double hinges and just collapse in like that to form his feet. Yep. You got this big old thing just to kind of work with. Alright, we're going to have to go back with the camera a bit. There we go. Give you some more room there. Then you're going to come to the legs and split them. And there's these little tabs you have to split them off of. You see these two little tabs just hanging down there. And then they come out. They're going to slide out. You see that little tab got to slide out. Right in there. They're going to come out on these double hinges. But you're not going to just have them sit like this with the hinge sticking up. If you can actually see inside there, there's this hinge in here. You basically need this hinge to go sideways and kind of collapse in like so. I'm not sure there's a way I can show you that, or you're going to have it collapse in, because if you look on this side, the hinge actually has little pegs, so it's actually going to kind of collapse in like that, like so, and actually peg into the shin. Now it'll actually lock his legs into robot mode, because otherwise they're kind of just flopping around, because it does make him slightly taller this way, but his leg cannot hold weight, really. I mean, you can make it work, but if you want it to actually be solid, you gotta fold it forward and peg it in like that. And then you're gonna swivel the leg around, which puts this nice detail on the outside. Got the details we couldn't see before. You're gonna come to the top now. Split with are obviously the arms, and they'll release this little strut that this was holding. These arms were holding the back part in place. And it'll also come out on a double hinge and kind of just peg itself in like that. You're going to want it pointing upward. We'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead and turn the arms. They are on nice heavy ratchets. Unpeg them from the shoulders. And you can bring them down. Go ahead and flip the head up. Flip the chest plate up to cover that. And you can see his robot mode is basically done. Now we're just going to be messing with the crane for the back kibble. Pull these flaps open. Bring it down this hinge. Then you're going to flip that hinge inward like so. Now it collapses all together, and then the little pegs that are on the side of these flaps here will actually peg into the top here. You can see right there is a little peg hole. That'll actually collapse all together and give him like a third leg kind of thing going on, as he can actually sit on that. Like that. And there you have Hotspot in his robot mode. Alright, so now we have Hotspot in his robot mode. Let's go ahead and show you him next to Onslaught, his remold. And you can see a bit more differences between two here. Well, mostly. Biggest difference right now is their feet. Mainly it's the paint applications. Like, they have this very similar molding, but a lot of different paint and even where it's placed, because Hotspot has these like little lines going through his shoulders, while Onslaught just has solid colors there. And the chest design is very different, as well as the head design. Even their back kibble is also very different. Onslaught also has heels because of how big his is. I mean, a lot of people are asking why Hotspot didn't get heels, but he kind of has the third leg of doom there that his cable forms. So, apparently he can't stand up. He's a little drunk. But, you know, there they are together. They are pretty... I mean, look at them side by side. They look very similar. But if you saw them separately, you wouldn't really think they were remolds. And there he is with Rook for good comparison. The leader of the Protectobots. So let's get Onslaught out of the way, get Rook out of the way. He's already had his review. He also still has his guns, which he can of course hold. And they look pretty good in his hands. Gives him kind of like, it could be like a weapon, or because it has these little hosing details. It could also, it even has a little hose kind of going along the barrel too. Could also be a weapon to use for water to kind of put out fires or such, or maybe extinguishers. So, kind of works for the Protectobot leader. You can also combine them to make a big gun. Doesn't kind of quite work as well as the Superions did, because it just looks like a giant... It just doesn't look like a giant gun. It looks like two guns pegged together. But I mean, you could flip one upside down, or you could flip that one upside down. You could do one of the two to kind of help it. I mean, you probably have to do it this way in order to make it look right. And I guess you could give them like a giant, it might look a bit more like a giant gun, especially with a little scope coming over the top there. But I'll be honest, this personally doesn't work for me. I just keep them as two separate guns. Also, most often I just have them pegged onto the back, because there are still these peg holes right here that were the sides of the crane, or the crane ladder, that you just peg in like that. You can even point them forward, make them look like Blastoise. Actually, because he has the molding in his mouth, he might actually work as a custom Blastoise. That'd be kind of fun. Oh yeah, so as far as details goes, there is quite a few new details. If you look at the arms, you can actually see a little line going down them that's begging to be painted, since his arms are completely unpainted. He has a little cuff and armor piece going around his hands, which look pretty nice. His hands are really nicely molded with all the fingers, even his middle digit kind of sticking out slightly because it's his bigger finger. I mean, I guess humans do kind of have that too. You can even see there's kind of like suspension and springs in here that kind of make for like an armored fist and kind of make it look like you could actually take a hit because it would kind of bounce and not hurt him quite as bad. Pretty neat little detail. I do have a problem with my leg because you can see the leg, the mushroom peg is one to slide off and start to stick out, and every now and then just gotta kind of shift it back into place. His feet are just the front windshield just split in half going opposite directions. But they do work pretty well as feet, and they are slanted to kind of have his feet open like that. Some of the new details, these are technically for Defensor, but you can see them in this mode too. You get some little piping suspension detail there. You get some pipes going through here. Get a lot of nice piping detail in there, and this kind of shows one of his aesthetics where he's got like this stripe thing going on. You got silver with little red stripes going across. This actually continues to the shoulders, and this detail is for Hotspot because Defensor you see from this way. So this detail actually is for Hotspot, and he has it continued on his chest plate as well with this silver with red stripes going over. Along with all this little like suspension piping detail in the middle of the chest, similar gearing and piping detail all in that silver, and it just makes for a pretty neat aesthetic for him. I also like how they handle the face. I know in the cartoon he technically had his face was all painted all in black with the red eyes, but I do like this face a bit better. This is one of the few times where I actually like the toy accuracy better. I think this is toy accurate. I could be wrong. It might actually be anime accurate. I don't remember. Actually, I think the toys were the ones that had the dark face, but I do like how this looks a lot more, because it kind of makes, I feel like the black details would just kind of make I feel like the black would just make all the details kind of disappear like it does here and up here. They don't quite pop quite right with it's all black. And I love a lot of details we have here. We have he's very much an Optimus Prime looking fellow. You know, you got the antennas, you got the crest coming down, you got the mouth plate, got the serious eyes. I mean, he very much does look like Optimus Prime, which works a lot more towards being RID Optimus repaint. I kind of wish they did do that, with how many weird Combiner Wars repaints we did get. At the very least, like the BotCon one should have been something. But his eyes are painted right, and he does have a different blue painted over for his mouth plate, which looks pretty nice. He does have these like eyebrow ridges that kind of look like a knight's helmet or something, kind of going over. And it goes all around wraps all around the back too. So lots of nice detailing. Only complaint here is this chest plate does not tab in, like it tabs in but doesn't really hold. It pops off extremely easily, and it even pops off the hinge. Like, this is also the cheapest, most lightweight piece ever. I mean, it's very lightweight. It's very, very cheap little piece of plastic that comes off there, and it's not, I guess it's good it's not pinned in, because it would probably fall out, break really easily, but yeah, I mean, it does not take, it takes no effort whatsoever to pop it off. So yeah, if you're buying a second hand, make sure it has a chest plate, because it probably be lost very easily. And it does kind of have this usual detail of like just having the chest molded into a block, kind of like how Blades was. Where it's just, there's a chest there, but you can see it's just molded into the block, and it's kind of weird looking too, because his chest is smaller than his pelvis area. So it kind of does make it look like the block is his actual chest rather than this little slanted part. But the red does kind of help break that up since it sticks out a bit. So, kind of 50-50 there. As far as articulation go, he has pretty good articulation. I mean, you got a swivel going all the way around. It is on a ball joint, so you can't really have the head looking up, but you can have it looking down. So if he was like looking down at Rook talking to him, you could get that going. The shoulders are ratcheted. Oh wait, if he doesn't get stuck on his gun, so I might have to fold this back. The kibble only interferes when it's got the guns attached. You do get going outward, which isn't ratchet, but it's got 2 set places. It's not allowed ratchet, at least. The arms do go outward on their own, though, without the shoulders having to be moved. So you got 2 outward movements. You do get a double elbow, and with a swivel right in the middle, so you have one elbow that has no swivel, and you have the other elbow that does have a swivel. So you got a little bit of both, for whichever one you need. Which does allow him to do this whole kind of, you know, gonna beat you up kind of look. You know, you make it look like he's slamming his fist together, right? Like he's gonna beat somebody up. No waist swivel, unfortunately, even though they could have probably cut one right here. You do get ratchets going outward, not quite as loud as his shoulder ratchets. You get going forward, which are about as loud as his shoulder ratchets. You do get a mushroom peg that works pretty well, and you do get a single knee joint, and you can disconnect it, use a double knee joint. But honestly, I get about all the knee movement I need from just that. You can also technically count his ankle movement because the feet do unpeg and go forward. And this isn't just force, you could actually get it kind of working with him kind of leaning forward on the ankle. So you can do that if you wish. You can also start unfolding the backpack kibble and using that as a giant crane. You can make it look like Scorponok almost with it coming over his shoulder. But I'm just going over the official stuff here. I only showed the ankle thing just because it's just one peg. You know, it's pretty easy to use. You can give him a wider stance or something, or make him look like he's stepping forward. Well, stuff you can do with that. He also has a third leg for balance, so that's pretty nice. At least the kibble has a use in this mode. It's not just kibble weighing him down. So yeah, Hotspot I think has probably the best out of all the quote-unquote leaders of the teams. I think he's probably the best mold. I do like his vehicle mode a lot better than Onslaught's vehicle mode because, you know, giant head, obvious Bruticus head on that one. At least Defensor's head kind of hidden away a bit. It's not immediately obvious that this is the head right here. So yeah, I think he's probably the best Voyager we got out of Combining Wars because Superion's pretty nice, or not Superion. The Cyclonus / Silverbolt mode is pretty nice, but this one's articulation and such works a bit better, and the robot mode just looks a bit better. Well, I just have the problem with the plastic kind of wearing away on the elbow ratchets. Oh well. Now, speaking of Defensor, let's get into that mode. To start, you're going to fold the head away. You can leave the chest plate up or down. I'm going to fold it down so the paint doesn't get chipped. I have heard reports of that. You're going to take the fists and use the double elbow, and they're actually going to peg in, or this one's only going to peg in one place. There's a little tab hole right there on the inner part of the armor of the arm. I'll tab right in there. And on this side, there's actually a peg sticking off of the hand. It actually pegs into that little peg hole there, along with the tab. So you gotta do both there. Go ahead and come to the sides, and there actually is some more of that bar detailing that's not painted. You're gonna flip those down. That'll be where the arm joints go. Alright, go ahead and take these guns off. They're gonna get in the way of the transformation. Go ahead and take this, bring it up on that double hinge, and flip it back forward as if it just came from vehicle mode. And these are the legs are going to turn forward like so, where the black and the painted details are forward. You're going to collapse them back in onto the legs, slide them back in almost like you're going to vehicle mode. They're going to keep them spread like so. Once again, slip it in. And you're going to spread it open one piece because you're going to have a piece come under this. And we'll get to that in a second. Go ahead and collapse this back down, and you can actually see there's tabs on both sides. Little tab hook there. Tabs in like that. We're gonna come out, have these flaps unpeg. They'll line up with little tabs sticking off the shoulders. I don't know if you get the right ratchet going. Oh, it's because it's all slightly bent because there's not enough room up here. Go ahead and fold out the crane fully and bring it down this hinge. That'll give it enough room to where these can actually tab into the shoulders. Like so. Go ahead and bring this down and it'll fold like that. You can see it start forms a chest plate. Then you're going to use this hinge here. This is why you have all these hinges is for this transformation. And the 2 tabs that are under between the legs there that were holding the legs in vehicle mode, you're going to peg it into the second square of the ladder right there. Like between the first 2 rungs there. Then you're going to undo this hinge as well. Now fold it all the way around. Now bring this part back up to the top, and there's 2 tabs here. There's 2 tab holes right there. And then just click on like that. You can bring the legs together like so. Then just fold down these flaps. Flip the. You can see there's like kind of like this where you're left with this. Use the double hinge to flip it on top and turn the head around. And there you have Defensor in his torso mode. I think this is a pretty nice torso mode. It's very solid looking. From the side, he is rather flat, mainly around the leg area. But I really like how they handled the crane and having it wrapped around the figure. I think the G1 figure might have done that too, but I can't quite remember. But I really like how it handles it because it makes him very solid. No loose pieces. The chest plates, I will admit the chest plate does come untabbed fairly easily. But it's not too hard to get back in place, especially once there's weight up here. It's really comes undone easily. But it looks pretty good. You can see it once again brings forward these details that were on the side legs, now they're on the front. And he has the same detailing here on the front. Not quite as deep because it is just a thin chest plate, but I do like to continue that detail. Even though these parts are now covered up, I wish they somehow got brought forward. But it does make for a very wide, very solid looking chest plate. It covers up the arm pieces, which a lot of the others didn't really do quite well. It looks pretty nice. Got a little Autobot symbol template there. Got some nice paints on the face with little like kind of skeletal design around his head, because you can see like the side parts are actually right around the chin strap. There is actually some little design in there where you kind of looks like it collapsed in. Really nice big crest. Got little like sunglasses kind of going on for his eyes that are nice and blue. Got the wiring detail going up. Chest plate looks, like I said, very nice and solid. Got this bar detailing going through. You got little circuitry stuff all in there. Got an obvious peg hole here that's for Groove's chest plate mode. The back is just kind of Hotspot just kind of holding up his fist with his head tucked away. But yeah, he's a pretty nice looking chest mode, and we'll get more of him when we do get the Defensors review. But for now, that's Hotspot reviewed. Overall, I would say good torso mode, good robot mode. Vehicle mode is probably his weakest mode, but even that's not bad at the very least. So I'd still say I'd say he's very much worth it. If you like Defensor, if you like the Protectobots, he's a very good figure. Probably one of the best in Combiner Wars. Only figure I like more is probably Rook, but he's such a really good deluxe. But yeah, highly recommend him. So this has been Very Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.